So I asked the question, um, what, if you had an event for your child as far as sports and, you had a church event, which event would you go to? And a lot, some people said kids event, some people said church event. I grew up Pentecostal Church of God in Christ. My mom was a missionary, then became a pastor. My dad was a quartet singer, then he became a pastor. And so when I was growing up, all I could remember is going to church with my mom. She was in noonday prayer, sometimes Tuesday night Bible study, Thursday night Bible study, and Sunday. You know what I'm saying? We were in church a lot. But, as I got older, started playing football, started traveling with my dad. I started traveling with my dad at like 9 or 10, singing in the quartet group. So as I started traveling with him, you know, we stopped going to, more Bible studies more. When I started playing basketball, we stopped going to Bible studies more. I was going to rehearsals more with my dad. And Dad never really went to rehearsals. He to Bible study or anything. He was kind of working. And so it kind of balanced out to whereas he was working, Mom was able to go. She was kind of a stay-at-home mom at the time, and then she started going to school to further her education after she had all of our kids. So, so it was kind of different. When we grew up and started being active in sports, we didn't go to church. We was at practice. We never missed a practice. We never missed a game. We never missed anything because of church. Even if the game was on a weekend, we never scheduled anything on Sundays. There was anything scheduled on Sundays for us in school. But here's one of my things that I realized. When my mom was going to church when we were younger, that was kind of primarily for her. It wasn't really for us. We were young. We were playing around. We didn't really know a lot about what was going on. I can't tell you one thing that I learned at that time, but that was primarily for her. She was a young adult, and she was bringing her kids to church. When it kind of got around my teenage years, my mom actually got involved in our youth. We didn't have a youth pastor or something like that. She just got involved, took us to all type of events when it came to the youth. So I think we have to weigh out the thing here that when you have kids involved, is when you skip an event that has something to do with them, is it for you guys or is it for you? My mom, when we went to church, that was kind of for her. We got the discipline of going to church. We knew what church was about. We understood, God and stuff like that. But the discipleship that we got was from her. The point of training up a child in the way that he should go when he grows old, he won't depart from it. That came from her. That came from me going with my dad to rehearsals. That came from him coming outside playing ball with me. That came from the talks that we had at the house. That came from church is 2 hours out of the week, maybe 4 hours out of the week. You cannot compare that to your entire life and the discipleship that you need to become, what you need to become in life. So, church attendance for us was good, but, I don't want to put the pressure all on church leaders, your pastor, and all of that type of stuff. Nah, at home, we got to do our part. And so my parents did their part at home. And so when it comes to sports and church events, I have to pastor my first church, which is my kids. That's my first church. I cannot save the world and lose my kids. I cannot go to church and call it God, and then when I leave church, it's not God. So you telling me that God is just only this 2 hours in this one day? You see how confusing that is? That our church event is the God thing, but the kid event, God is not here. No, 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 no. I do God 24/7. I do God all day, every day. And the primary thing of doing God is being able to be a mentor, a person that disciples their own kids. You know, we can't get away from that. And so I think my mom was great at discipling her kids. When she was younger in the faith, she was hungry, she took us. But man, to be honest with you, I don't recall any life-changing revelation that I got in the room with her. I just remember her jumping and shouting and praising God. I don't remember any of that. What I remember is having conversations with mom, having conversations with dad, and then, to be honest with you, the coaches in my life played a major part in my discipleship as well, and me becoming a man. The coaches, my football coaches, when I was growing up, my basketball coaches in middle school and high school, those they made me a well-rounded, strong man. And so to take your kids out of sports, or to make that a contrast, church or sports. No, it's church and sports, because it's all discipleship. I don't know how many kids that work for. I don't know how. I know that it didn't work for a lot of the people that I grew up with. And so, we were in sports. We thank God for my mama realizing that we all needed to be in something, and there was nothing. My mama even ended up being the cheerleading coach. There was nothing that they wouldn't do to keep us involved in our in what we wanted to do. But definitely, when we went to church, we did church. We supported the ministry that we attended. We did that, but I also messed up, what I'm saying, in church, as far as what I'm saying. That's another video. I lost my virginity at a church convention. But I want to say that you can't I guess put all the discipleship in this one little 2-hour church box on Sunday or Wednesday or Bible study or what have you. Most of those kids are sitting in the back, they sleep, they playing on video games or whatever. We try to make them pay attention, but they it's tough for them to pay attention in that monologues type of setting where they can't ask questions or they can't be active. Where they get their true discipleship is at home, asking you questions. And now you have to understand, or you have to analyze, what is your discipleship program for your child at home? And are you depending on the leaders of the church to raise your child? Ooh. And so that is what we are up against. Look at the pattern of your friends and the pattern that you took, and everybody went to church. Everybody went to church, but were we discipled by our parents? And my parents they discipled me, man. They were good at helping me. And then, of course, when I got to college, you find other people, other leaders, other people that can help. But for the most part, my parents, the things that I stick with and ride with, is not necessarily what I heard from being a kid all the way up to being a teenager. I don't remember not one sermon. Probably maybe one. Ella Robinson, used to preach some stuff like the blood. He talked about certain things. That was our childhood pastor. But I don't remember any profound revelation in Sunday school, nothing, as a kid. What I do remember is what my mama used to tell me, and what my mama used to hammer in our head, and what my dad used to tell me, and what they used to hammer in our heads. And so that's the stuff that stuck with me. And when you really analyze it, man, you'll start to see, okay, wow, you know what? You're right. Your kids need your discipleship at home. They need you to be their number one fan. You're building a relationship that's going to last for a lifetime in that child. And so that's just my opinion. Y'all comment below. We got more coming. I love y'all, man. Have a great day. Peace.